So, in this video, I'll be talking about a Taylor polynomial. So, if given any function f of x, which is n times differentiable, then we define the Taylor polynomial of f to be this function, which is clearly a polynomial because it is of the form of summation x minus a to the power k, and uh, so and the sum is only finite. So this is a polynomial, and it is a Taylor polynomial of f because the coefficients of this polynomial are derived from f of x. So let's understand what this formula means. So first of all, fk of a is fk is the kth derivative, and we are evaluating this derivative at x is equal to a. So this is the meaning of fk of a in this equation. And well, we know what k factorial means, and x minus a whole power k is a polynomial. And so this is the Taylor polynomial of f, which is the nth degree polynomial because we are taking powers up to n. And so this Taylor polynomial is supposed to approximate the function f. So as we increase the values of f n, then Tn of x is as close to f as possible, is closer to f. So that means the value of f of x is closer to Tn of x as we increase the value of n. So which means that the Taylor polynomials can be used to approximate the function f. Now, so this is the Taylor polynomial centered at x is equal to a because we are taking x minus a whole power k. If a is equal to 0, then Tn of x is centered at x is equal to 0, and and Tn of x is called the Maclaurin polynomial. So these are some definitions. So now, obviously, when we say Tn of x is close to f, we want to know exactly what that means. So we want to find out the error of this approximation. That is the error of approximation using Taylor polynomials. So which is our next topic, which is called the error in Taylor polynomial. So here we have this standard result that so this is the error term because Tn of x is close to f. So we want to find out how close is Tn of x to f of x. So that is why we take the modulus of this difference, and this formula is that this is less than equal to k times modulus of x minus a to the n plus 1 by over n plus 1 factorial. So this means that this is the formula for the error term. And when k, so it is important that you remember what the value of k is, and k is essentially uh, the maximum of the n plus 1 derivative of f evaluated at c, where c lies between a to x. All right. So this is the value of k. So this is the maximum value of the n plus 1 derivative in the interval a to x. Okay. So if in case the n plus 1 derivative is increasing, then the maximum is attained at the point x, and so on. So this is the error term, and we'll need it in some problems. So now let's get down to finding the Taylor polynomials. of certain functions. So the first function that we have is, okay, so the question is to find the Taylor polynomial of degree 2. So which means that n is equal to 2 here, and f of x is 1 plus 2x plus 3x squared centered at x equal to 1. So which means that center is 1. So which means a is equal to 1. So the formula for the Taylor polynomial is Tn is equal to summation k equal to 0 to n fk of a divided by n factorial, sorry, k factorial x minus a to the k, and this is the formula. So we know what the value of n is. N is 2. We know what the value of a is. A is 1. So Taylor polynomial is nothing but summation k equal to 0 to n fk of 1 x minus 1 to the k by divided by k factorial. And okay, so we want uh, we want to find out the values of the k derivatives up to n equal to 2. So f0 of 1, which is just f of 1, f1 of 1 is uh, f prime of 1. So f prime of 1 is, okay, so we have f of x here, then f prime of x is, the derivative of this, which is 2 plus 6x. So which means f prime of 1 is 2 plus 6 times 1, which is 8. So this is 8. And now f2 of 1 is the double derivative evaluated at x equal to 1. So the double derivative of f is the derivative of this function. So this is 6. So this means that f double prime of 1 is equal to 6. So f prime of 1 is 8, f of 1 is 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 squared, which is 7, right? So f of 1 is 7, f prime of 1 is 8, and f double prime of 1 is 6. So now we'll write down we'll substitute these values in this formula, and we'll get the answer. So the Taylor polynomial of degree 2 is sum over k running from 0 to 2 fk of 1 x minus 1 to the k divided by k factorial. So this is equal to f0 of 1 plus f prime of 1 x minus 1 by 1 factorial plus f prime of 2 times x minus 1 whole squared by 2 factorial. So this is equal to, so as we found out the value of f0 of 1 was 7, the value of f prime of 1 was 8. So this is 8 times x minus 1. 1 factorial is just 1, and f double prime of 1 is, we found out that this was equal to 6. So this is 6 times x minus 1 whole squared by 2. 2 factorial is 2. So this is 7 plus 8 times x minus 1 plus 3 times x minus 1 whole square. So remember that since f is a polynomial of degree 2, then t2 of x should approximate f, which is also a polynomial. So we, if our system is true, then t2 of x should be equal to f of x, which means that this, if you find out, if you like simplify this after opening this whole square, you should get f of x, which is 1 plus 2x plus 3x squared. So you can check that after you simplify this, you should get the function back, because the function itself is a special function. It is a polynomial of degree 2. So now let's look at another question, which is find out the Taylor polynomial of f of x is equal to square root x centered at x equal to 4 of degree 2. So that means t2 of x will use the same formula. So in this case n is equal to 2, a is equal to 4. So we'll have fk of 4 divided by k factorial x minus a x minus 4 to the power k, because I've substituted a is equal to 4 here and k running from 0 to 2. So we'll have to find out f0 of 4, which is just f of 4. We'll have to find out f1 of 4, which is f prime of 4, and f2 of 4, which is f double prime of 4. So let's do this. So first of all, f prime of x is the derivative of this, which is 1 by 2 root x. So this means f prime of 4 is 1 by 2 square root 4, which is 1 by 4. And f double prime of x is 1 by 2 times x to the power minus half, which means the derivative will be this. So this means that f double prime of 4 is minus 1 by 4 times 4 to the 3 by 2. So this is equal to minus 1 by 4 times this is 8. So this is minus 1 by 32. So we have found out the values of f prime of 4, the value of f double prime of 4, and so f of 4 is square root 4, which is 2. We have also found out that. So now we'll substitute this in the values here. So t2 of x is uh, f of 4 plus f prime of 4 times x minus 4 by 1 factorial plus f double prime 4 times x minus 4 whole square divided by 2 factorial. So this is equal to, so we found out what the value of f of 4 is. It is 2 plus f prime of 4 is f prime of 4 is 1 by 4. So f prime of 4 is 1 by 4 times x minus 4. 1 factorial is just 1, plus f double prime 4 was found out to be minus 1 by 32, and so this is minus 1 by 32 time, divided by 2 factorial is just 2 times x minus 4 whole squared. So this is 2 plus x minus 4 by 4 minus 1 by 64 times x minus 4 whole squared. So T2 is the required Taylor polynomial of f of x. So this is our final answer. Now let's look at another example. F of x is equal to log x, and we want to find out the Taylor polynomial of degree 2 centered at x equal to 1. So degree 2 means n is equal to 2 in our formula. Centered at x equal to 1 means a is equal to 1 in our formula. So t2 of x is sum over k running from 0 to 2 fk of 1 times x minus 1 to the k divided by k factorial. And so we want to find out the values of f0 of 1, which is just f of 1, f prime of 1, and f double prime of 1. So f of 1 is log of 1, which is 0. F prime of x is 1 by x. The derivative of log x is 1 by x. So which means that f prime of 1 is just 1, and f double prime of x is the derivative of f prime of x, which is minus 1 by x squared. So that means f double prime of 1 is minus 1 by 1, which is just minus 1. So therefore the Taylor polynomial can be written down as f of 1 plus f prime of 1 times x minus 1 by 1 factorial plus f double prime of 1 times x minus 1 whole squared by 2 factorial. So this can be written down as f of 1 is 0, f prime of 1 is 1, f double prime of 1 is minus 1. So this is just x minus 1 plus, sorry, so plus or minus becomes minus x minus 1 whole square by 2. So this is the required Taylor polynomial of log of x at x equal to 1. So now let's solve a different problem. So here we are asked to use a Maclaurin polynomial for e to the x to approximate square root e with a maximum error of 0.02. So since we want to find out the error is given by modulus of Rn of x is less than equal to the n plus 1 derivative of c times I'm sorry, modulus of Rn of x is less than equal to k times mod x minus a power n plus 1 by n plus 1 factorial divided by n plus 1 factorial. So the thing is, since we'll take f of x is equal to e to the x, and we want the value of f of half, right? Because e to the power half is square root e. So we'll use the Taylor polynomial to approximate it. However, we want to find out the value of n in order to have a maximum error of 0.02, and this is the formula for the error, where k is maximum of fn plus 1 of c, modulus of that, and c runs from a to x. So now, since we are wanting to use the Maclaurin polynomial, so the Maclaurin polynomial means that our center is just 0. So that means we'll substitute a equal to 0 here. And so first we'll begin with finding out the value of k. So k is the maximum from 0 to x, because a is 0 here, and c lies between 0 to x, modulus of fn plus 1 of c. So this is the n plus 1 derivative of the function, and the function that we are taking here is e to the power x. So f of x is e to the power x, that means f prime of x is e to the power x, f double prime is also the same, exponential of x, f triple prime is also exponential of x. In fact, any derivative is exponential of x. So that means k is nothing but the maximum of, so this is e to the power c, right? And c lies between 0 to x, and x is equal to half here because we want to approximate the value of e to the power half. So this is just the maximum of e to the power c. C lies between 0 to half, and exponential is an increasing function. So that means this maximum value is just the value of e to the power half, and we want to find out some bound for k. So this is of course less than e, because square root of e will be less than e, and the value of e is 2.3 something. So this k, so we can safely assume that k is less than equal to 3. Okay, so since we are assuming that k is less than equal to 3, so therefore and we want this remainder to be less than equal to 0.02. So that means however modulus of Rn of x is less than equal to k times uh, x to the power n plus 1 by, so the center is 0, so I'm omitting 0 here, and mod x to the n plus 1 by n plus 1 factorial. And so this is less than equal, since k is less than equal to 3, which we just showed. This is less than equal to 3 times modulus of, and also x is equal to half because we wanted to find out the value of f of half. So this is just less than equal to half to the power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 factorial. So this is less than equal to 3 by 2 to the power n plus 1 times n plus 1 factorial, and we want this term to be less than equal to 0.02. All right, and if we can make this less than equal to 0.02, then the error term will also be less than equal to 0.02. So if we simplify this inequality, we'll get 2 to the power n plus 1 times n plus 1 factorial is less than equal to 2 by 100. Sorry. So I'm simplifying this. 3 by 2 to the power n plus 1 times n plus 1 factorial is less than equal to 2 by 100. So that means, so because 0.02 is less than equal to 2 by 100, is equal to 2 by 100, so this can be written down as 300 by 2 is less than equal to 2 to the power n plus 1 times n plus 1 factorial. So which means 2 to the power n plus 1 times n plus 1 factorial is greater than equal to 150. And now we'll substitute the values for n and see for what n this equation is true. So first we'll check for n equal to 0. For n equal to 0, this is 2 to the power 0 plus 1 times 1 factorial, which is just 2, and this is not true. So let's check for n equal to 1. We get 2 to the power 1 plus 1 is 2 times 2 factorial, so this is 8, which is still not true. Let's check for n equal to 2. We get 2 to the power 3 times 3 factorial. So this is 6 times 8, which is 48, still not enough. For n equal to 3, we get 2 to the power 4 times 4 factorial, which is 16, I don't know, 16 times 24, which is equal to 384. So this satisfies this inequality. 384 is greater than equal to 150. So that means n equal to 3 is the required Taylor polynomial. And now, so we want to find out t3 of x and substitute x equal to half in that, so that we get the value of the the required the required value. So let's do this. So n equal to 3, we get t3 of x is equal to uh, x plus uh, sum over fk of 0, because we want the Maclaurin polynomial, times x to the power k by k factorial, and running from 0 to 3, which was the value of n that we got from the error term. So that means we want f, and notice that f of x is a to the power x. So that means f k of x is just a to the power x, because any derivative of f of x is still a to the power x. So that means fk of 0 is just 1, right? So t3 of x is sum over x to the power k by k factorial times 1, and running from 0 to 3. So this is 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial. Alright, and now we substitute x is equal to half in this, because f of x is square root e to the power x. So when you substitute x equal to half, you get e to the power half, which is square root e, which was the value that we wanted. So we'll substitute x equal to half in the Taylor polynomial, and then we get 1 plus half plus 1 by 8 plus So this is 1 by 8 times 6, which is 1 by 48, and this is approximately square root t with an error of with an error of 0.02. And so you can find out what these terms are in a calculator and find what the value of square root t is in a calculator and check that in fact the difference is less than 0.02. So let's now look at another example. So in this question, the fifth degree Taylor polynomial for some function about x equal to 1. So we are taking f and we were finding out the fifth Taylor polynomial of f centered at x equal to 1, and this is given as this function. Okay, so you can see that x minus 1 is appearing, but the terms considering fk of a by k factorial have been simplified to this. So the first question is, find the equation of tangent line to the curve y equal to f of x at x equal to 1. So here we want to use that fact that the Taylor polynomial of a function contains all the information about its derivatives. So the equation of tangent to y equal to f of x can be written down as so this is some function f and this is the point x comma f of x. We want to find the line whose slope is f prime of x and passes through x comma f of x. So the equation of such a line is y minus f of x is equal to f prime of x times x minus a. Since x is equal to 1 here, so therefore we know what the value of f of 1 is. F of 1 is just, okay, so this is y minus f of 1 times f prime of 1 into x minus 1, because we want the value at x equal to 1. So the equation can be written down like this. And now we want to find out what the value of f prime of 1 is, because we know what is this, and y and x are variables and the rest of all the terms are known. So f of 1 is, use a substitute. So f of 1 can be, so first of all let's write down what the Taylor polynomial of 5 degree will be. It will just be sum from k equal to 0 to 5 fk of 1 times x minus 1 to the k by k factorial. So that means if you want to find out the zeroth derivative, which is f of 1, f0 of 1 is contained in, f0 of 1 is the coefficient, the constant term in this polynomial, constant term in p5 of x, so which is minus 7. So that just means that f of 1 is minus 7. All right. And now for f prime of 1, it is the coefficient of, okay, so now you can see that this is f prime of 1 times x minus 1 by 1 factorial. So that means the coefficient of x minus 1 in p5 is f prime of 1 by 1 factorial. So that means the coefficient of x minus 1 in this is minus 8. So that means minus 8 is equal to f prime of 1 by 1 factorial. So which just means that f prime of 1 is minus 8. And now the equation of the tangent is y minus f of 1 is equal to f prime of 1 times x minus 1. So this is just simply y minus minus 7, so this is y plus 7 is equal to minus 8 times x minus 1, and this is our final answer. So let's find out the value of f double prime of 1. We do the same thing. The Taylor polynomial of f can be written down as f prime f of 1 plus f prime of 1 times x minus 1 plus f double prime of 1 times x minus 1 whole squared by 2 factorial, and so on up to f, the fifth derivative of f evaluated at 1 times x minus 1 to the 5 by 5 factorial. And we know what this polynomial is. It is equal to the one that is given in the question, which is minus 7 minus 8 times x minus 1 and plus 16 times x minus 1 whole square, and so on up to 1 by 40 x minus 1 to the power 5. So that means so we just compare the coefficients of these two polynomials. Comparing coefficients, when we compare the coefficients of these two polynomials, we get the fact that f double prime of 1, which is the value of, is the coefficient of x minus 1 whole squared by 2. So that means f double prime of 1 by 2 factorial is equal to the coefficient of x minus 1 whole squared, which is 16. So that means f double prime of 1 is 16 times 2 factorial, which is just 32. And similarly, if we want to find out the value of f phi of 1, then you know that f phi of 1 by 5 factorial is equal to 1 by 40. Just compare the coefficients on both sides. So because like this is the coefficient of x minus 1 to the 5, and this is the coefficient of x minus 1 to the 5 in this polynomial. So that means f phi of 1 by 5 factorial is 1 by 40. So that means f phi of 1 is 5 factorial by 1 by 40, and 5 factorial is 120 by 40, so this is 30. So therefore the derivative of 1, oh sorry, this is 3. So therefore the fifth derivative of f evaluated at 1 is equal to 3. And that is how you do this.